Hello and welcome back to the Fish Locker. Today we're going to be doing some foraging, some diving, some cooking and a little bit of camping. First thing though, we need to get James from school. Now we need to get him changed. Just like that. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Right, James, the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to set up camp and then we're going to go and do some cooking. Out you get. James and I have done a fair bit of camping over the years. One of the challenges that we've always faced is power, is adequate power. I mean, I have a feeling that I'm probably going to be more needy of this than most people, from the cameras, the lights and everything like that. Yeah, I've used several different power banks over the years, but definitely the most convenient one that I've found is this. And this is the Jackery 500 V2 power station. Do you want to pass me over that inflatable mattress? There's several uses that I've found for this around the house. Daft things of charging where you haven't got a socket. But one of the things where it's really come into its own is situations like this. When James and I want to go away for a day or two, we've got things like phones, camera batteries, lamps, torches, the motor for pumping up this. I've used it for all sorts. Right, do you want to just scooch over for 2 seconds? It has 2 standard AC power outlets for everyday plug items for around the house. It also has a carport. Now, I've found this really useful when I'm pumping up the wheels on the van or the trailer. 2 USB-C outlets for charging things like your batteries, your torches, and a USB-A outlet also, so you can charge multiple items at the same time. It also comes with a very convenient carrying handle and a built-in light. Perfect. One of the most convenient things for me about this is its weight and its size. This is just over 5 kilos. It's not. And the size of it means that it fits perfectly into somewhere like that. Yeah, fits perfectly into the van. Right, we're almost set. James, if you start unrolling those sleeping bags. While James does that, we'll have a look what I did earlier. Oh, well I've made it. Yeah. Managed to find a little bit of shelter. We've got 2 hours of the ebb and I'm hoping to do a little bit of diving and foraging along this reef. Tell you what, them weights don't get any lighter. This is always the worst part. 1, 2, 3. It has been quite a while since I was at this mark, and I've picked it purely to get me some shelter from the wind we've got at the moment. As you can see, there is an awful lot of kelp that's been ripped up. That's from all the bad weather that we've had. Hopefully it's not going to have disturbed too much of what's out there. We won't know until we get in there. So fingers crossed for good clarity and not too much broken seaweed. Let's go and get wet. I'm just on my way down to the water now. I've just been walking along this little bit of a ledge and I've found a really nice crab in this little tiny bit of a pool here. I don't know whether you can see it. That is probably just below minimum landing size, but yeah, that is a male brown edible crab. You can see it's a male by this narrow V here. He's got quite large claws. In fact, he's got a bit of black spot. I don't know if you can see the black spots on it and on his claws. So he's actually not a very well boy. He's a little bit poorly, and just under minimum. If that had been the same length as the end of that finger, that would have been big enough to keep. But yeah, look, if you look, in fact, actually inside this hole, underneath him, is his girlfriend. Yeah. As I've discussed in other foraging videos before, this is a female. You can see because she has a large V underneath there, a large apron. Crustaceans, crabs, lobsters, shrimps, anything like, even scorpions and decapods, they have a hard exoskeleton. In order to grow, they need to shed off their old hard shell. They absorb water, they swell, they get bigger. There is a period of time when they are soft. This young lady is soft at the moment. She's just slightly squidgy on the sides. Their breeding habits being that a male will protect a female while she's soft, while she's vulnerable. And as a reward, he gets to mate with her. So yes, this guy here, his shell is hard and he's protecting his girlfriend whilst she's soft. You can even see, look, the tips of the claws aren't properly black yet. So yeah, this is a mated breeding pair. I'll try and really quickly show you the difference between the males and the females. If he, without him nipping me. Right, look. Male apron, narrow V, female apron, wide V. Also, considering that they aren't too dissimilar in the size of shell, but he has much larger claws. Can you go, love? I aren't going to separate these two. You can go back in there and take care of your missus. There you go. Stay in there, lad. Yeah, high five. Yeah, that was good to see. Interesting too. Like, there's you can hear me explain these things and it doesn't make sense so much as when I can show you. Like, that was it, textbook. A big male there on the outside of the hole, protecting a female while she's soft. And then as she hardens up, she'll develop her eggs and she'll hold eggs underneath that larger apron. Also in this area here that I'm looking at, there are a lot of snake locks anemones. There and there. They are absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Let's carry on down and get in the water. There's a couple more nice crabs in here too. There's one. There's one. All slightly undersized still though. Yeah, it's a good sign. It quickly became apparent that the swell and poor weather we've been having has left a lot of particles suspended in the water. Because of this, I was going to have to get right down in amongst all the cracks and the crevices to find anything. quite a big one now. There are definitely plenty of spider crabs in this area. Here's a proper one. That there is a proper size one. Spider crabs everywhere you look. I'm glad I went back to double check, because behind that big wrasse there is a lobster. Happy with that. Yeah. That was not an easy one to get out, because it turns out actually in that same hole there's a wrasse, a lobster, a conger eel and a bullus. I'll get this stuck in my bag and we'll go back down and have a look. Not a bad haul so far. Flipping heck! That is an absolute jumbo, and it was just sat there. It's almost too big for me to get my hand around. As far as problems go, this is a really good one to have. I have no space left in my bag. I have a lobster down here on the end, I have a massive great spider crab here, and I have an absolute jumbo of a lobster there. Ooh, easy tiger. Yeah, he is a big lad. I've laid him on his back inside this little bit of a dip here. Yeah, that is a big one. Yeah, what a fantastic problem to have. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take that spider crab out of this bag and wedge it in a crevice here, so I can put the two lobsters in my bag, and if the spider crab's still here on the way back, I'll pick that up. But yeah, that is a stunner. Two fantastic lobsters there. That's a nice sized lobster. I mean, it just looks like an absolute miniature next to that one. There's another lovely little lobster. Now this one, I would put this down as being bang on, like minimum size. I am ashore, and this is what I have found. Now the water clarity to start off with was cracking, and then as soon as the tide turned, it just dropped down to almost nothing. I was absolutely amazed at the number of spider crabs. I don't think I've seen it like that for a couple of years. Some of those ledges were just an entire wall of spider crabs. There was some cracking males. I did bring a male with me. Now spider crabs, the majority of the meat you get on, the white meat you get off them, is in these claws and in these knuckles in here. So I did bring back one big male spider crab. We have a massive great cock lobster there. I mean these claws are stunning. Yeah, he is a beauty. That there is an incredible find. I am over the moon with him. And two smaller lobsters, two smaller females. She is actually blowing bubbles. Yeah. The first one I found is 91mm and she is actually bang on 90. I did say I thought she'd have been bang on the measure, and I've been doing it a while. What I have decided I'm going to do is I am going to put the smaller of the two females back. She's going to go back. So I'm going to keep her and him and him. I'm going to go and have a cook up. Yeah. I'll get changed, get dried, and then we'll drop her off in a rock pool. I'm all dried and changed now, and as you can see, the tide is making its way in. This is the smaller of the two lobsters. This one is the one that's bang on minimum. So yeah. Coincidentally, a little bit more information about them is lobsters and crabs like this, they live in the intertidal zone quite happily. So they don't mind being out of the water for a little while, as long as they're kept damp and cool. Yeah, because sometimes when the tide goes out on large spring tides, it does strand them. So yeah, they don't need to be in water 100% of the time. They are still perfectly happy out of it. And what I'll do is drop them back. In fact, actually, another thing that I'll say is that for anyone who doesn't know, they walk about sideways and forwards, and they swim backwards. So they use that tail to kind of clap. See if I can get her to do it. You know, flap that. There you go. Go and clap it. There, look. Whoop, whoop. Straight underneath that ledge. Stunning dive. Let's get back to the van. I've got him sat happy in this pool here. Now, one of the easiest ways to tell a male lobster is by monstrous great claws. Looking underneath the tail, you can see these two white dots. One by my thumb there and there. Their tail is narrower than a female's tail, but without them there next to each other, it's sometimes difficult to see. But yeah, those two white dots are the telltale giveaway. You, sir, have an invite to dinner. That's them two happy in there. We will get everything on charge. Let's go and get James now. Right, as James finishes building a fire, I'm going to have a look at Mr. and Mrs. Lobster. Yeah, he is a clonker. Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dispatch those two. I'm going to cleave them, clean them, wrap them up in tin foil. Hopefully by then we will have a bed of coals to cook them on. Are you going to be in charge of that, James?
Yeah.
Good man. Let's get started. Right, best boy, now that the fire is lit, what I need you to do is I need you to go and find some big flat rocks and make us like a little seating area just there next to the fire, right?
Okay.
And then I'll start sorting these lobsters out. Yeah. Oh, actually, you reckon you can go and put some clean water in that? Yeah. The plan is we've cleared an area off. We're going to let this burn down to a bed of coals and then cook Mr. and Mrs. Lobster. As you can see now, these lobsters have been dispatched and cleaved. what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash out the insides. So I'm going to wash out all of these internal organs, because this meat and in there is what we're after. There we are, they've all been cleaned out nice. We'll take these bands off, get them all buttered up, and then get them parcelled, ready for the coals. Is that fire nearly ready, James?
Yeah, nearly ready.
Good man. There is enough liquid inside of there with a little tiny bit of butter that they are going to steam inside that parcel. James has got butter and garlic. I have butter and a little bit of hot sauce. And the claws, we've had to give them a little bit of a knock and just a spattering of butter. We are now ready. We'll get these parcelled up and on there. There's the claws wrapped.
This enough? A bit more?
No, a little bit less next time. Alright, I'll just peel it back off there. There you go. A little bit less next time, alright?
I didn't know how much you wanted.
That's okay.
Oh, it's for a big one. Well, that one just have to take a bit longer now. You can see where it went a bit wonky, can't you?
That's okay. Tell you what, this batch of wood that we've been using here is full of firecrackers, isn't it?
Yep.
That fire is almost ready to put the parcels on. As soon as these flames die off. Yeah. Could do with it happening sharp as well, because we've tide's coming in. Do you reckon we'll do it in time?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Besides, if we have to cut it short.
We're not going to. Even if my toes are getting wet, we're not cutting it short. I am hungry. Okay, best boy, you want to pass me a parcel? Pass the parcel. Oh, only one more. Okay. Maybe spread them out a little tiny bit then. Do you know any jokes?
What do you call with deer with no eyes?
What do you call a deer with no eyes?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No idea. What do you call a cow with no legs?
I don't know. What do you call a cow with no legs?
Ground beef.
Ground beef. Oh. What do you call a man with a spade in his head?
I don't know.
Doug.
Right,
How are you getting on? You alright?
Mr. Fish Locker.
Yeah.
Yes. Never met before. My name's Dave. Really nice to meet you, both. Really nice to meet you.
How are you getting on? You alright?
Yeah, I'm alright.
You can hear them now starting to sizzle. Just have a little tiny peek. Whoa, almost. Not quite ready yet. Another minute. Hang on. Wow, that looks good. Steamy. Okay. Look at that. And all the juice and the butter. I don't know if you can see it all there, look. Right, well James, you have a whole lobster to yourself. And if you eat it all, you can also have some of mine. Cheers.
Oh.
Oh, it landed in the butter.
Ah.
It is literally steaming. Just start from the skinny part of the tail and pull it out in the water. Right, me too. So do you know any more jokes? What do you call a man with a rabbit in his shirt? Warren. What do you call a man with a seagull on his head?
Go.
Cliff. What do you call a woman with one leg longer than the other?
Dunno.
Eileen. I got you on that one, didn't I? You'll need to learn all of these for when you have a son of your own. These are all dad jokes. It's a rule. When you become a dad, you need to learn how to tell dad jokes. What do you call a man covered in mud?
Dunno.
Pete.
Oh yeah, peat bogs.
Pete Boggs, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm in Scotland.
Right. What we're trying to do is there is plenty of meat in these legs. So we'll take a leg off each, look. See this long part here? Look, watch. See? Look.
You pulled it all out.
Exactly like that. Well done. You know the score. Look at these here now. Doesn't get much better than that. Fresh from the sea a few hours ago. Do you want it?
Yes. Oh. Slipping.
Now that is a proper lobster claw. Look at that! You want a bite? Another one. Bite. You're not supposed to check it all. This is how close we are to the sea now. Come wash your hands. Done. I brought all the coals together and stoked them up, James and I, and now we're going to have dessert, which is marshmallows. Jamesy boy. Thank you. Those ones look like they've been venomed. That's what it's all about. I might not know it all, but I know what makes me happy. Miss Sonny Jim makes me happy.
This looks like a drumstick squashy almost.
It does just look like a squashy. Right, watch out a second. There you go. Yeah, eat them if you want.
Mini marshmallow.
Just be careful because things like this shell, watch how hot it is. See?
Interesting.
Okay, try my lobster.
Our fire has died down to naught. We've picked and packed everything away. The sun is just setting. We have just enough time to get back to the van and get bedded down. Oh, I'll tell you what, yeah. Those are lobster mussels right there. Does that mean that you're carrying this all the way up to the top? I walked into that one, didn't you, son? Ah, that is stunning, that. There we go, we are all bedded down. We have James's iPad and my phone are both on charge. We're going to watch an episode of The Simpsons before bed. I hope you enjoyed joining us. I hope you found it interesting. All the very best. See you later.
See you later.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the Fish Locker YouTube channel, where we have hundreds of videos from our adventures just like this one. We upload new videos every Sunday evening, so don't forget to click subscribe and we'll see you on the next one. Let's go!